Tonight on NewsWatch 12 at 6, a new lawsuit against the city of Grants Pass. It's saying their homeless regulations are cruel.
And the city of Medford currently hosting an open house for the Downtown Medford 2040 plan.
After a very quiet stretch of weather in recent weeks, a winter storm on the way into your Friday. I'll have the details on travel impacts coming up.
Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 at 6.
Sunshine and mild afternoons have been giving us a break from winter so far this week, but that's about to change. Right now we're taking a live look near Chiloquin, where clouds have rolled in. A winter storm is approaching us and expected to bring travel impacts with it on our Friday. We want to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Haley Gravitt.
And I'm Tim Quidadamo. Let's turn over quickly to Storm Tracker 12 Chief Meteorologist Matt Hoffman in the Weather Center. Matt, we've enjoyed a few weeks that were dry, but that's going to change really fast.
Yeah, it is going to definitely change. And already that rain and snow will start to work in tonight. You can see some returns showing up on the radar. Now, not all of this is really reaching the ground at the coast, but as we head deeper into this evening, we will start to see that rain becoming a bit more steady along the coast and then moving inland from there. Temperatures right now in the mid-40s in Grants Pass and Medford. It's 36 in Klamath Falls, 36 degrees in Montague. Look for snow levels tonight to drop to about 4,000 feet into tomorrow morning. Winds fairly light inland, but those breezes are starting to pick up for the coast as well as some of the higher terrain. Mount Sexton Summit seeing gusts near 30 miles per hour, and then in the Shasta Valley in Weed, gusts up to 30 miles per hour. There is a wind advisory for the Shasta Valley, 10 p.m. tonight to 7 p.m. tomorrow. Gusts up to 50 miles per hour possible. So expect that precipitation to continue to move inland. Eventually by the morning hours, snow reaching the Klamath Basin. Snow levels will start off around 4,000 feet tomorrow and then gradually climb up to about 5,000 feet or so. We could see some pretty difficult pass travel through our higher passes. Snowfall rates at times with precipitation could be 1 inch per hour, and you add some pretty gusty winds as well. Blowing snow will be an issue. So we're going to be primarily concerned, especially about our Cascade passes, where we do have a winter storm warning in place. There will likely be some snow, especially in the morning at Siskiyou Summit, also in the Klamath Falls area. Slew of winter weather advisories also in place. Coming up in a bit, we'll have more details on exactly how much snow we're expecting for our higher elevations. We'll take a look at rain amounts as well, and we'll time out that precipitation right through your Friday and into the weekend, all coming up.
Matt, thank you. On to developing news out of Grants Pass. The organization Disability Rights Oregon suing the city with Oregon Law Center. The lawsuit says the city of Grants Pass's homeless regulations are cruel and forcing people with disabilities to live in life-threatening conditions.
And NewsWatch 12's Brinkley Hill learned more about the lawsuit and what it means for the city's homeless population.
Today, I spoke to Tom Stetson, who's a deputy legal director at Disability Rights Oregon. DRO is representing 5 people who are all disabled and currently living homeless in Grants Pass. DRO said it's been trying to work with the city on their homeless policies since September of 2024, but the city has been radio silent. The human rights group was concerned about the city's campsites and the continuous decision to downsize the space where homeless people could be, most recently at the J Street site on January 24th.
They've been thrown out on the streets in the middle of January with nowhere safe to go. The least the city can do is not criminalize their existence as people who are homeless and people who have disabilities.
Grants Pass did win their Supreme Court case over the summer to be able to dictate where homeless people can sleep on city property, but there are local and state laws that still impact a city's homeless policies. One says that a city's policy has to be reasonable. Stetson says that asking hundreds of homeless people to camp overnight at the 7th Street site is unreasonable because they can't all fit into a quarter-of-an-acre site. Stetson also said that because the only campsite for homeless people in the city is only for overnight use, it discriminates against disabled people who cannot pack up their belongings and leave every morning at 7 a.m.
I have clients who are in wheelchairs, elderly people who use canes. You know, it's physically impossible to do this constant work of tearing down your campsite, setting it back up again.
Stetson says that he hopes that through this lawsuit, the city will be able to create better policies and resources for the unhoused community of Grants Pass.
One of the things that comes around when cities are trying to create these really harsh policies, the problem is they punish everybody. The way forward for people is to find a better way to address this problem.
I reached out to the city of Grants Pass, who has no comment on the lawsuit at this time. I'll continue to follow this lawsuit and what it means for the city and the homeless community and update you when I have more answers. Reporting in studio, I'm Brinkley Hill.
Right now, the city of Medford is moving forward with its Downtown 2040 plan. They're hosting an open house at the Hawley Theater.
And that open house is to update the public on changes and gather more feedback. NewsWatch 12's Samantha Gadara has a look at what's expected for tonight.
So we had the survey in August, and we've taken those responses and kind of incorporated that into looking at, kind of what the next phases of the project will be in terms of kind of code changes, looking at the boundary, looking at like key street intersections, things like that.
The public survey received over 1,200 responses, helping shape tonight's representation. Palladino mentioned that the city is focusing on code changes, street boundaries, and redevelopment opportunities based on this feedback.
Things that we heard the most, I think people are, wanting some more green space, some more like social places that they can kind of hang out. Obviously like more retail, more restaurants, some things like that.
And the survey feedback highlights a desire for a more welcoming downtown with more things to do. The open house is focusing on sharing updates on design standards and how new developments in downtown Medford will look.
So tonight we just want to update folks on the project and kind of where we are in terms of the deliverable. Tonight we're really going to focus on some of the code regulations that have been drafted, looking at some of the architectural and more of the design standards. So if new development occurs, how that development would look and feel.
And NewsWatch 12 is at that open house right now, which started about half an hour ago. We'll have more details coming up on NewsWatch 12 at 11.
Ashland Parks and Recreation is asking for the public's input through a survey to determine its course of action for the next decade. The Parks and Recreation Open Space and Senior Services, or PROS, is a 10-year strategic plan to create service goals for people using the park. The survey will be open until Saturday, March 15th. You can find a link to the survey on our website, kdrv.com.
Moving to a crime alert tonight. 2 teenage boys in Grants Pass are in juvenile detention on multiple felony charges, including kidnapping. Detectives and patrol officers served a search warrant this morning and arrested a 14 and a 15-year-old. Their charges include first-degree kidnapping, strangulation, assault, unlawful use of a weapon, among other charges. Both are currently in the Josephine County Juvenile Justice Center.
A man is in jail and his victim in the hospital after a hit-and-run crash in rural Rogue River. A woman was hit by a vehicle as she was trying to get control of her horse on the roadway. Police say the vehicle never stopped and fled the scene at a high rate of speed. Jason Baker, a 40-year-old of Rogue River, is charged with second-degree assault, felony hit-and-run, reckless driving, recklessly endangering another person, tampering with evidence, aggravated driving while suspended, and initiating a false police report.
And we have an update tonight. Last week, the Oregon State Marine Board passed new rules for boat operations on the Upper Rogue River. The new rules change access to certain parts of the Upper Rogue River going into effect on January 1st. These temporary signs will be placed at boat access sites by tomorrow. Permanent signs are being developed and are expected to be posted by the spring.
After 3 decades of business, Medford Mattress is saying goodbye. We talked to the store owner Rod Broderson, who says the decision wasn't easy, but he's ready for retirement. He says he faced the challenges of limited space and inventory, and that made it tough to run the store as it once was. Rod got into the mattress business at 43 after a career shift from mill work. He says his journey started with a focus on health and wellness, which led to him selling mattresses.
Outpouring has just been incredible to me. I never realized that people knew who I was like they do.
Medford's mattress warehouse caught fire on January 9th. Rod says that customers have shown their appreciation. He has a deep sense of gratitude for his customers and the community. He's leaving with a sense of fulfillment, knowing he's helped countless people sleep better. The Medford Mattress Store will officially close on February 15th.
Our community knows how to rally together in a time of need, and that's what a group of students are doing. A class at Roosh Outdoor Community School are running a fundraiser this week for those affected by the fires in Southern California. Students have raised more than $700 with a goal to hit $902.72, which, if you're wondering why so specific, that's the area code for Palisades. The cash donations help support World Central Kitchen, which have been providing meals to impacted residents and firefighters in California. Not only will firefighters benefit, but the classes with the most donations will earn a pizza party.
And new at 6, a fire in Bly left a church building in rubble. The Standing Stone Church caught fire last night with visible flames lighting the sky. The church shared this picture of what was left of their front door at around 1:30 this morning. The church said that the church isn't the building itself, the church just meets there.
The first recovery grant from HARP has a Jackson County wildfire survivor in a new home. The homeowner did not want to be identified, but said they can breathe again. More than $400 million in federal funding goes toward the Homeownership Assistance and Reconstruction Program, known as HARP, which helps survivors of the 2020 Labor Day fires. HARP announced the expansion of its income requirements yesterday. Those who formerly did not qualify may now qualify. More details can be found on kdrv.com.
And in Josephine County, leaders are inviting residents to discuss the Oregon Department of Forestry's wildfire hazard map. The Board of Commissioners hosting the town hall tonight from 7 to 9 p.m. at the Josephine County Fairgrounds Pavilion. Topics on how to file an appeal and what residents need to know will be discussed at that meeting.